it's Mike with the Event Leadership Institute, and today we're at BizBash Live, where there's a lot of great educational sessions happening. One of the speakers was Bruce from Jack Morton Worldwide. Nice to meet you, Bruce.
Nice to meet you, Michael. It's good to be here.
So for people that don't know you, who are you, and what do you do at Jack Morton?
I'm Chief Creative Officer of Jack Morton Worldwide, which is a 78-year-old experiential marketing company. And we have offices in 17 cities around the world, so we're on every continent.
And what do you do there?
I'm Chief Creative Officer, so the essence of my role is making sure we have the right people, the right talent to work on behalf of our clients. So that usually involves hiring executive creative directors who then run the departments within their offices and working with them to make sure that we're working towards the same vision for the company.
So you've been in the industry for a while. How did you get into this industry?
That's interesting. I actually had a strange route into the business, and many people who work in the event and experiential place do. We have people who have come from theater, we have people who've come from academics, and so on and so forth. I was a recording artist and a musician well into my 30s, and I started getting interested in the publishing potential of the web. I wrote a book, I'm a published author, and then I started writing for a very early literary website called Word.com. And that got me interested in the power of the web. And then, this is a very long story because I've been...
That's okay, we want to know.
Yeah,
you know, what's the path? And it's interesting because a lot of people have different paths.
Yeah, I'm a writer by vocation. So I had written for magazines, I'm a songwriter, I'd written a book, and I wrote a season of a television show, a children's television show. And after that was done, in New York, there was starting to be a lot of energy around the digital business during the dot-com boom. So there was a pioneer web shop called agency.com, and they needed someone who knew how to write dialogue because they were doing something for a client where they wanted people to talk. And so they hired me as a freelancer, and I fell in love with the business. And then I was on the digital side for a long time. I was in an advertising agency for a long time, and then I started dipping my toe in the water of live, of events and experiential, and I just fell in love with it. So when the opportunity at Jack Morton emerged, I wanted to come here, and it's, it reminds me a lot of the music business in ways because the production of the things we do is very similar. There's often audio-visual, and my digital chops are very valuable in this. And I think the thing that's most important, what I often talk to students about, is craft. Whether you're a producer or an account person or a strategist or a creative, you need to love your craft. You have to. Obviously, it makes your work life a lot better if you love what you do. But also, I found that people who are passionate about writing or passionate about design or passionate about strategy tend to move quickly in the business and stay and really enjoy it because it's something they absolutely love. And with a craft, as I say, I'm a writer by vocation, and I'm still essentially trying to do the same thing, which is write a sentence that makes you have to read the next one, right? So I think a love of craft is important. In terms of types of people I look to hire, I look for people who are curious and enthusiastic. What I found is that if people are curious about the world and about things and have a good sense of craft, they can really achieve anything. And the enthusiasm, you want people to, it's a fun business. Why wouldn't you be enthusiastic, right? So
yeah, that's very true.
Those are some of the attributes. And then there's really mundane stuff. I always tell students, if you can show up on time, do what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it, you're ahead of about 80% of the people in the world. So those simple things that I think make up part of being a good coworker.
Right.
So
you're talking a lot about attitude and their personal demeanor. What about the things that they need to know but don't necessarily, they're not interested in learning, for example?
Yeah.
Right? So maybe it's the logistics. So you've got somebody that's more on the creative side, but you still need to have a little bit of a logistical background. What would you say to them?
I would say be curious. One of my goals as a human being is to remain teachable and to not think I know everything. And there's always an opportunity to learn. I've had such good luck in this business and such good fortune. When I came into digital, I really knew nothing about how websites were built, and I asked people. I'm a real believer in the adage that the only stupid question is the one you don't ask. And most people are very generous with their knowledge, if they're willing to share it. And I think that's a responsibility for us who've been doing it for a while, to share back what we've learned. But hopefully people come in with a love of learning. The world changes quite rapidly, particularly with technology. And you really have to stay abreast of what's happening.
So where I was going specifically is those people that, how do you work with things that you don't necessarily like to do, but it's part of your job? So what would you do to for example, if there's something logistically that's not creative and it's not really interesting, but it's part of the job, you've got to do it. How do you maintain your motivation to go through that, push through that, or learn the right thing?
I try to remember that's why they call it work.
Yeah.
It's
paycheck then.
Well, one of the interesting things about very successful shops in this business and other parts of marketing communications is everyone's role is important. And I try to communicate to the teams that we can't do anything without everyone there. And I really like there to be in each of the Jack Morton offices, and we have a wonderful company with a terrific culture. I try for everyone to have respect for the work, but also to take responsibility for it. And I think if you're passionate about what we're doing, you can embrace everything, and trying to, I don't want to get all new agey on this, but
but there's a pattern with what you're saying, which is it's passion. Passion seems to be the key word here.
Passion's key, and also for people to remain present, to be there for what's happening in that moment. We tend to get quite future focused in all of our lives and in business. I think I've always believed that all work has dignity, and I try. Our three sort of attributes of the company that we try to promote within the company are passion, agility, and respect. Yeah. Our clients need us. We want to be passionate about the work. We want to be passionate about the brands. We need to be agile. Things are changing all the time, and we genuinely try to be respectful of each other in our day-to-day interactions as a company. And it's possible to do really great work and be nice people. That's sometimes surprising in some agencies, but we found that to be true at Jack Morton.
Is there anything that you do in particular to maintain that culture?
It's every single interaction each day. We try to be considerate about how we work with each other and remember that everyone's role is important. And that's something I felt immediately when I came to the company. I've been at Jack Morton 18 months now, and you could feel it when you walked into the building. And Jack Morton, are you familiar with Net Promoter Score?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We have a Net Promoter Score among our clients, and our Net Promoter Score as a company is 49, which means about half of the people who work with us would actively recommend us to another client or a colleague. The industry average is 19. So, we build solid client relationships by worrying about what keeps them up at night, being respectful of their brand, and also just trying to be easy to work with.
But it sounds like it's being built into the company culture from.
And I think
78 years
it goes
ago,
back. Yeah, it goes back to Jack Morton.
Yeah.
We've had as a company 3 CEOs in 78 years. So the first whose last name were Morton, and Josh McCall, who's our CEO now, is the first non-Morton to be the chief executive of the company, and he carries with him. They aren't words to him. He walks the walk. He is the embodiment of our core values, and it really, you see it all the time. It really comes from the top down and from the bottom up. People really enjoy. We work in a really fun business, so people like to come to work, and I look forward to coming to work every day at Jack.
There you go. Well, Bruce, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you,
if people wanted to connect with you on social, where can they go?
They can go to @Jack Morton.
@Jack Morton.
And they can connect with me, and I'd be happy to share any thinking I have, of course.
Sounds good. Thanks again. Really appreciate that. For more event education, make sure to visit eventleadershipinstitute.com. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time.